What's up, Wastelanders? I'm Jedi, Samurai. You gotta call me Jedi. With it being October and Halloween coming up, I've never really done this before, but I would like to share a scary story, a ghost story. Uh, let's see where to start. This was back in, I think, 88, if I remember correctly. 88, 89, maybe 90. I grew up in San Diego, city of Imperial Beach. On summer breaks, I remember as a kid, my mom would pack us up in the car and we'd come down to San Bernardino, California, where my family lived. I had other family, cousins and stuff. And I used to stay with one particular cousin. This is, like I said back then, they lived in a small rectangular house that had 3 bedrooms, 2 in the front and the main living, near the main living room, and then a very back room where the bathroom was at. The house had a wall, the door that would separate the kitchen from the front, you know. And this house always used to give me weird vibes, just the way it was, the way it looked. And it wasn't until years later where my cousin did start talking about how the house was haunted and some weird shit happened in that very back room with my cousin's husband. But I really don't remember a lot of those stories. That's their stories to tell. But my story, I have 2 of them from that house. So my first one, like I said, this was probably like 88, 89. And I would go over there on weekends when my mom her friend wanted to go down there and visit or go party. So anyway, I was there. It was the summer, and we were there. They took off. I was there with my cousin, and she went to work. She used to work for Patton State Hospital, which is for the criminally insane. So anyway, she was at work. I think this was like a Tuesday, and her husband was there and told me, watch my cousin. He's gonna go pick her up for lunch and bring her home so we can sit down and have lunch. They're gonna go buy shit. And so it was me and my cousin. We were just sitting there. We were playing Sega. We were playing, it was a Toxic Avenger game. I remember that. So we were sitting there playing, no mind. My cousin left. Cousin's husband left. So me and him start play fighting, joking around. And we're sitting there, go back to the game, and, no big deal. So, me and my cousin are sitting there. And the kitchen door. Now, when you try to close this door, it like slid across the floor. You have to lift it up hard. I'm telling you, this house was old, that it kind of bowed in the middle. And it threw off the door. So it scraped. You could see the scraping on the floor, and you'd have to really lift it up to try to close it. So that door always stayed open. So me and my cousin are sitting in the living room, we're playing video games. This door, out of nowhere, you can hear the grinding as it's closing. Me and my cousin look back, we're looking at it, and all of a sudden that door slams shut, like boom, really hard. It scared the crap out of us. We watched it close. And then the door starts to open again. Like, we actually see the handle turn and open. And it's sliding open, but slow. And as we get up to go outside, like, I said, let's go, come on. Right when we get to the front door and start opening it, the door slams shut again. Hard. So that time we just ran inside and closed the door, the screen door. We were like 2 dummies. We're sitting on the porch, and I asked him, I go, "What do you think it was?" And he's like, "I don't know." So, me being who I was as a kid, I peeked in. I just stared at the door. Like, I don't know why, but like I wanted to see something. So I just stared and stared. Nothing. The door didn't move. It was closed. And then I hear my cousin say, "Hey, there they are. My mom's here." So I turn around to look. I hear the door opening, but where the point that it starts to rub on the floor weren't bad. It stopped. And I turned around. I see them coming, and I kind of wave like a goofy little kid, just hi. And they're looking at me like, "What are the kids doing?" Like they're looking at us like, "What are they doing?"
Citizen.
So anyway, they come in, they pull up, they got food, and they're like, "What are you guys doing outside?" And I told them, I go, "We were just sitting there," and that door slammed. They look at each other, and I kind of realized they know something, but they don't want to say it. He's all, "No, I couldn't have. It's probably the wind." I said, I know that door. There's no wind. So they walk in. We go right there to the front of the living room. We're just sitting there, and he walks through the kitchen door, and I watch him grab the handle and pick this door up and open it all the way and put it down. And then she goes walking that way, and they kind of look at each other, and I'm watching them like, what the hell just happened? What do you guys know? They're not gonna say nothing to us because they don't want to scare us even more. So anyway, that was the first time anything like really paranormal ever happened to me. But they kind of played it off and like, well, I forgot about it. I didn't even think about it no more. But I still remembered it. I just didn't even think about it. So I ended up going back home. I think it was probably like another year or a few months later. I go out to visit again. And so my cousin puts out the mattress for me to lay on. It's already late. And it's already late. They went to bed. They're in the front room. Her husband's in the second room, in the back. And I'm laying there. Now they had this white recliner when they first came out, and you had one side or two on the very end chairs. They reclined. Well, one of them didn't go down because a certain little kid broke it to where it wouldn't go down no more. So one night, where I'm there, they went to bed. I'm in the living room by myself, mind you. I've always had to share a room with somebody, so being by myself wasn't the norm. So anyway, I'm trying to lay down. I'm tossing and turning. I can't sleep for whatever reason. And I got up and I turned the TV on, and I'm laying there. And they're sound asleep, so I put it really low so don't bother them. And I'm just flipping the channels. Find something boring. I'm just sitting there staring at it. So I decide I'm gonna try to go to sleep. So I flip over, get my pillow, and I'm laying on my stomach with my both arms crossed at my face. I don't know what it was, what the feeling was, but basically I feel like something's telling me to look. I feel like, look over here. I get that weird feeling. And so I'm laying there. I got my right cheek on my arms, and I got my eyes closed to where I open my eyes and I kind of look up towards the chair, the couch, and I see it. There's something staring back at me, and it looked like, I want to say, almost like a kid was staring back at me, but very faintly. I could see the outline. I see his face. So anyway, I'm sitting there staring at something. It's clearly looking back at me. I can see it. Like I said, it looked like a kid, but angry. Now, I'm laying there with my chin on my hands now, but it was looking at me with like its hands flat on the ground, laying flat underneath it, staring at me, but angry. This terrified, I mean, this scared the out of me. I was sitting there staring at it, it's staring at me, and I could see it move. Not like it's coming forward at me, but it's just staring. And I remember getting my foot and I'm tapping the wall, trying to wake my cousin up. And I remember I'm calling out her name quietly, and I'm tapping on the wall, but she's not answering me. And I'm like, our eyes are locked. I'm staring at whatever the hell this is. But it just looked like an angry person, a kid, maybe a teenager. They just sat there and just stared at me with anger. Like I can't explain it. It's like this is the first time I'm ever seen anything like this in my entire life. So I remember tapping my foot on the damn wall, dook, dook, trying to get my cousin to wake up, but nobody's waking up. I'm hitting the wall with my foot pretty hard, which was a trip. Nobody woke up. So I remember staring at this thing, and I wanted to like look back at the TV, but I didn't want to have that moment where I look down and then look back and it's even closer. So I kept just staring at it, hopefully that it'll stay under the couch. And so me and this thing stared at each other for a pretty long time, because then I started hearing the birds outside and I started seeing the sun come up, sunlight. And that's when it, we're staring at each other. That's when it faded away. It just faded, like it did. I don't want to say it went back behind into the couch. It just disappeared, like just faded out. And then I remember hearing my cousin getting up. And as soon as I heard her get up, she went to start, I guess she started getting ready for work. I didn't say nothing. I just put my head down. And I went against the wall and I went to sleep. So when I woke up that morning or later on, I didn't tell my cousin because he was little. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just let it go. And it wasn't until like years later, I'm already in my 30s, when they were all sitting down talking about that house. And I was listening, and my cousin looks at me. She goes, "Remember when the door slammed in the kitchen on you guys?" I was like, "Yeah." She's all, there's other stories. I was like, "What?" I go, "You want to hear something really scary?" They're all, "Yeah." So I started telling them this story. And that's when my cousin started telling me about something that happened to them. But I don't want to really get into their stories. From a different outside point of view, it doesn't sound as good. But she tripped out. She goes, "You should have just called for me." I go, I was petrified. I couldn't move. I was trying to, throw a pillow at it, and then it just come rushing out. I didn't, you watch all those movies now with they speed crawl across the floor at you. I didn't want that scenario. Mind you, growing up with my cousins and all that, they put on The Exorcist and paused it on that very scene where Father Damien's mom is walking into the subway, or walking up from the subway, or she was walking down and the face pops up. Well, they paused it perfectly on that scene, and they all freaked themselves out because the eyes were following them. They ran out the house and left little ass me sitting on the couch staring at it. So I was pretty much traumatized as a kid because of that movie. But nowadays horror movies are they're comedy to me. I make too much fun of them. It's like, you've seen real shit. Horror movies ain't that bad. But that's my first story. I am gonna I'm gonna see if I can find something that'll represent what I was staring at, so you guys get a glimpse of an idea. man, but sitting there staring at this thing, at this face, and it didn't smile. It was angry. Like, I don't know why it was mad or mad at me. But to sit there for that long and have a staring contest with something that you know shouldn't be there, especially at my age, it was weird. It was really weird. You know, that was the two stories that I remember from that house. Now, a few years later, my cousin moves across the street, a couple houses down, in another house. But I'll save that story for another time. But if you like this story and maybe it gave you a creep, even if you stuck around and listen, you know, if you got any stuff that you want to talk about or something that happened to you, throw it in the comments. So anyway, that was my story. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll catch you on the wayside. See you guys later.